There's an old book published back in 1936 by Dale Carnegie. It was entitled, How to Win Friends and Influence People. It was very popular, still is. Over 45 million sold and counting. If I were to write that book or a similar one, it would likely come out down to just about 3 chapters, really. 2 of those chapters are for another homily, another day. But one would be about this, that one of the most important skills for each of us to develop is the ability to be happy for other people's successes. One of the most important skills we can develop is the ability to be truly happy for other people's successes. Most of us, truth be told, are probably not very good at that. Our most usual response when others get an award, get noticed, get the girl or the guy, get the scholarship or get the promotion or get the new whatever or get the grade or get the part in the play or get the invitation to the party, is to resent them and resent what they got. It's to be envious, and we tend to take it as a judgment against ourselves. When somebody else succeeds other than us, we take it as a judgment against ourselves, as if something is wrong with me. I'm a loser, too ugly, too dumb, too unlucky. We get stuck so quickly in the comparison games. When I see Facebook leaving us more lonely, lonelier, and emptier, is when I see the pics posted of someone else's vacation that I wish I could have afforded to go on, or with people on that vacation I wish I could have spent that kind of time with. Or from the party, when the pictures are posted from a party that we weren't even invited to, maybe for you or for me. And so we wish we could have been there. And we're cruising those news feeds on those Facebook pages, and we're wondering why them and not us. And we leave, close down Facebook that night a little lonelier, a little emptier than when we went online to get the latest news. And that ends up getting in the way. It gets in the way big time between me and you, me and anybody else. Even if I don't say something, they can see it in us. Maybe they see it on our sarcastic comment when they tell us about it, or our sudden silence, or our lack of comment congratulating them, or the look that flashes across our face when we hear the news, like a deer in the headlights all of a sudden. We're all a little bit like that, I suspect, sometimes. And all of that is a sign, my friends, all of it is a sign that once again we have stepped back into the me-centered universe where happiness will always elude us. When that stuff starts to come up in us, we are thinking of ourselves again this time, first, before those others. We slip back into that me-centered world. But you and I, we know for ourselves We know for ourselves what it means to us to be able to find someone in this world who can celebrate with us when we have that personal success. We know what it's like when somebody else can be truly happy for us, say something positive to us, smile real big, celebrate with us, maybe with a party or a dinner or something because of our success. We know what we feel for that person who can do that for us. We feel close to them. We trust them because of that. It feels really good. It feels great. And if we know what that feels like when people celebrate our success, then I got to ask you, I got to ask myself, why would we not do that for others? Why would we not go there? Why would we not celebrate, genuinely celebrate their success when it's their turn, if we know how great it feels when they do it for us? I can tell you this. If people don't celebrate with us when we dare to bring it up and try to share the good news, we will pull back. I've seen it in the University Communion 1,000 times over. We will pull back our gifts. We will hide our successes. And we will feel guilty when we do succeed. And more, we'll start to not share. Not share when we feel good about ourselves. Not share for fear of instigating that awful reaction in others that we've felt ourselves, making them maybe jealous or envious, or leaving them a little more down on themselves than before they heard. People don't tell that sister-in-law that they are pregnant because she's tried so hard to get pregnant and she can't. And so they wait way down the line to deliver the news. And they're already showing sometimes when they finally tell it. People can't say that they aced the exam for fear that someone else might feel bad about the grade they got and therefore even about themselves. They can't announce the engagement they just experienced because it might hurt him or her who wishes desperately that they had somebody like that. And while those times are tough, those times are really, really tough, to hide my success, for you to hide your success and your breakthrough and what makes you really happy just because another might get jealous really destroys relationship. It destroys the ability to be close to that person, and it insults them. It insults the one who suffers, as if to say, you can't handle this. You don't have it in you to handle reality. Do we really want to say that to a human being? And what ends up happening is we double their pain. This is no way to do community. This is no way to do friendships. Believe it or not, there have been parties that Gary Braun has not been invited to. I can't imagine why anybody would make that choice. And while that quite honestly hurts sometimes, it hurts even more when my friends who I love were there and they can't tell me about it for fear of hurting me, or they can't tell me how much fun or how good it was to have been there because it might hurt me. That hurts even more because the former is just missing out. Missing out is hard, and there will be some honest grieving that goes with that. But that can grow me, you know? That can grow me. But the latter is an insult. The latter is an insult that says to me, I don't have the inner strength myself. And it ends up keeping us apart, keeping us from being real to each other. And even while it hurts some or lots, I have to pull up my big boy pants once again, as do we all, once again. But you know what? I love you. I love you, and I can figure out how to be happy for your happiness, because if I love you, I want you to be happy. I love you, and I can figure out what it means to celebrate your good times, even though those aren't mine right now. And I'm going to do that. I being each of us, really, anytime, sometime. I can figure out how to celebrate your success even when I'm feeling like a failure. And while it might sting, I can still care enough about you to be so happy that you're succeeding right now. I can do that. So can you. We can figure this out. In that story you heard Jesus tell, those folks who came on in the beginning of the day were promised a wage. They agreed to the wage. They worked hard under the hot summer sun all day. And later on in the day, that same employer brought in these other folks to work the rest of that day. Those folks worked together for the day. They left at the end of the day, and they were high-fiving each other and sharing names so that they could become Facebook friends. They enjoyed the few hours they overlapped that day, thinking this guy's really cool, and then they get on Facebook later that night and find somebody celebrating there in their news feed. Gosh, I can't believe I only worked 1 hour and I got all this money, like if I worked all day. And all of a sudden, you who did, you pull back that high five. You pull back your heart from that person. You're not happy for them anymore. You think to yourself, what? But imagine how different the ending of that story would have been if those all-day workers could have mustered it inside themselves to be really happy for those other guys. Really happy that somebody ended up hiring. Really happy that they made that kind of money so that maybe now they can afford the vacation for their family they could not have afforded before, or end up paying the electric bill at the end of this month that they might have had to push back another month. How different that story would have ended if they could have looked at those folks and been really happy for their success, even while it wasn't theirs. You want to talk about how to win friends and influence people? This is it. This will put us so far along the way to that. And you and I will have more friends that we can shake a stick at. We might even have more Facebook friends than Joe Shane. More Facebook friends than we ever imagined. It's called learning how to be happy for other people's successes. And it works.